Good morning student, let us start our science class. Already we have started a new chapter, that is the biology chapter, that is life processes. In that we have studied some of the life process. In that nutrition we have completed, respiration we have completed. In last class we have discussed something about the transportation. In transportation in human beings we have completed. In that only small portion is left, so we will continue today that one. Okay? Yes. Now just will recall student what we have studied in last class. Is we have studied about heart. We know that heart is a very important heart has very important role in our transportation, that is a circulatory system. So upon that we come to know that there will be a blood cells, that is a blood is a very important in transportation. These are the two main parts we have discussed in last class. Upon that we have discussed different parts in the heart. Human heart we have discussed. There are 4 chambers. What are the name of that? Is right and left, is atrium, left and right, ventricles we have discussed. Upon there will be a different connection to that one. Some pipes are goes to the lungs and some pipes come from the lungs to the heart. It reaches to the heart. So we have studied how the transportation or how the heart is going to pump. Yes. Upon that we come to know that there will be a creation of pressure. Yes. We come to know that what is the normal range of the blood pressure, that is the BP range. Yes. 80 to 120. So we have studied about the transportation, about the pumping of heart. Next, only small portion is left over. So first we will continue that one. What is the definition of blood pressure, student? Blood pressure, what is the definition? Blood pressure, what is the definition? Just tell me. Yeah, what happened? Blood pressure means? Yes, there will be a creation of pressure. When the heart is going to pump, we come to know that there will be a creation of pressure. That pressure is called as a blood pressure. The force that blood exerts against the wall of the vessels, that is called as a blood pressure. Once again I will tell you the definition. The force that blood exerts against the wall of the vessel, wall of a vessel, that is called as a BP. Yes. Sometimes we are saying that pressure is very high. Sometimes we are saying that pressure is BP is very low. Okay. Now the pressure is much higher or greater in the arteries than in the vein. That we have come to know in last class. We have discussed. Just I remembered, always a pressure is very high. Which pressure? The arteries are having the very greater pressure than the veins. So veins are having the less pressure, that is 80 and to 120. Now what we are calling, if the pressure is high to this normal range, we are calling it as a hypertension. If it is a very low, in how much the normal range, it is below than that, means we are calling it as a hypotension. Below means hypo, if it is higher means hypertension. Sometimes we are using the terms, yeah, hypertension. That girl she is very hypertension. Actually we are saying because of the short temper people. Actually the thing is here, the blood pressure is high means we are calling that is a hypertension. If it is low means we are calling it as a hypotension. Yes, so just we remembered about the blood pressure. Now have you seen the doctors, they are measuring these blood pressure by using what? Yes, see, this is an instrument what they are using. Okay, do you know the name of this one? Yes, see here, this is a box of this one, they have written very nicely. See, the name of this is Very big it is meters. See, read it how? See here, manometer. So very big length here it is. See, this is the instrument what they are using. Okay, next, if you are going to see here, there will be a see here. See, readings we can see here, the mercury is there, all those things what is there in that a thermometer, same thing here. See, we can see the range. Okay, upon that here, see, one pump, we'll see how it is using. So upon that there will be a see one cloth like material is they are going to tie this one. So I will show you the short video how we are using this one. Okay, upon that there will be a, what is this, what the doctors are using? See, this is a, what is this? Yes, stethoscopes we are saying. See, by using this one they are find outing the blood pressure. So we'll see a small video, in that we'll come to know how the doctors are using this one. Okay, and they are telling us your pressure is this much. Okay, if it is a low means they will mention, if it is high means they will tell us we have to take care about that, we have to control our blood pressure. We know that if it is the blood pressure is high means it is also dangerous, if it is low means also it is dangerous. In last class we come to know that what will happen. Yes, there will be a, it is leads to death sometime, because the heart failure or else heart attack, heart blocks, all those things because of this only. Okay, yes. Next we'll move to, we come to know that heart, upon that blood, it is having very important role in our transportation system. If you are going to tell about the blood, we come to know that there are 3 different types of cells are there in the blood. Okay, in last class we have discussed what are those, WBC, RBC and platelets. Now tell me student, what is the normal range of platelets in our body? Yes, 1.5 lakhs to 3.5 lakhs it should be. Okay, in that range it should be, otherwise we will the doctors are saying after the test, after diagnosis, they are saying that your platelet count is very less, so you have to take care of yourself. What is the role of these platelets? What they are doing? Platelets, what they are doing? Yeah, platelets, what they are doing? Yes, they have the very important role. They are going to control our blood. They are helping for the coagulation of blood clotting. Okay, if some diseases like dengue, those people if affected that one, what a result of that, they will come to know that the platelet count is decreased along with the WBC, that is the immunity power also going to decrease, along with that platelet also come to down, means what will happen? There will be a bleeding, internal bleeding occurs. In last class we have discussed that one. Upon that, if it is any bleeding, it is not going to coagulate, or else it is not going to it is not going to coagulate, means it is very dangerous. Continuously our blood will bleeding will start, or else bleeding continuously. If it is bleeding, means what will happen? Our blood level come down, so it is leads to the death. So those people are suffering from this, that is the platelet count is less, means what will happen? It is very dangerous. So what will happen? They will they have to control their self, otherwise if it is they are getting any small wound or any crack to their skin, the blood continuously it will move. Yes. Next, upon that, we know that blood tubes and blood vessels, they also taking place, they are having the very important or else vital role in our transportation system. Now tell me, what is the blood tubes and vessels? Yes, already we come to know that about the blood capillaries. See here, the artery is divided into smaller and smaller vessels. Have walls, they have the walls which are which are how it is very thin it is, 1 cell thick it is. See here, the arteries are divided into smaller and smaller vessels. That vessels, the wall of the vessels are very thin it is, because that how much is the thickness? That is 1 cell thickness, and they are called as a capillaries. Okay, they are called as a capillaries. We studied capillaries while we are studying the lungs. Alveoli are going to give oxygen to the blood capillaries. Blood capillaries is going to give the carbon dioxide to these alveoli. So you know that what is the role of these capillaries. So the capillaries actually, they are the arteries itself. They are going to divide smaller and smaller. When it is reaches to the cell, when it is reaches to the different tissues, they are going to divide very small it is. Okay, that is called as, actually that is arteries, it is going to divide into number of capillaries. Come to know, now these capillaries are going to join together to form a vein. See, the vein also nothing but the capillaries, the arteries also nothing but the capillaries. You know the functions of these two arteries and veins. Once again, I am not going to discuss on that. So what happened here? What the veins are doing? What the arteries are doing? Yes, veins that convey the blood away from the organs and tissues. And where it is going to reach? Yes, we have studied in last class. Once again, I am not going to discuss. So we come to know that these arteries are going to divide into smaller part, smaller tubes, small vessels, that is called as capillaries. Okay. Yes. Next, one more thing, that is the lymph. Lymph. Do you know, student, what is lymph? Lymph means nothing but it is the tissue fluid. You know that in tissue means what is that? Is a group of cell. There will be a fluid in the tissue, that is called as a lymph. This is another type of fluid. Fluid involves in the transportation. This is a fluid itself that is also involves in the transportation, like blood vessels, like heart, etc. Okay. Now, student, the pores present in the walls of the capillaries. We come to know what is a capillary. In capillaries, there will be a pores present in the small holes present in the capillaries, that is having plasma, protein, blood cells, etc. What they are doing, these plasma, protein, blood cell all escape into the intercellular space in the tissue to form a tissue fluid or else lymph. Come to know what is tissue fluid or else lymph. Plasma, protein, blood cells escape into the intercellular space. Okay, intercellular space present in the tissue. So that is called as a lymph. It is very much similar to the plasma of a blood, but plasma having color, but here lymph has no color. It contain less proteins. Okay, it contain less proteins. Plasma contain 3 different blood cells. Yes, now we'll see what is the functions of these lymphs. Here, lymph carries digested and absorbed fat from intestine. The digestion process we have studied. What happened from the intestine? This lymph is going to carry the digested and absorbed fat from the intestine and drain excess fluid from the extracellular space. back into the blood. Okay, this is the main functions of these lymph. Okay, so we have completed about the transportation system in human beings. Okay, next we'll move to the transportation system in plants. Yes, so we know that, now we come to know that animals, they have the well designed transportation system. What about in plants? Whether it has a transportation system? Yes, in plants also there will be a transportation system. So in today's class we are going to study that one, transportation in plants. Yes, before that we have to know the photosynthesis. In first class of life process we have discussed about the photosynthesis. Now tell me student, what are the raw materials in the photosynthesis? Yes, plants are using carbon dioxide and water. In the presence of sunlight it is going to prepare its food, that is the glucose. Yes, now from where these carbon dioxides are getting to the plants, from where they are getting these carbon dioxides? Yes, we know that from the atmosphere. Now tell me, from where they are getting the water, from where they are getting the nutrients? Yes, they are having the root, not like us, they are having the root. They are going to absorb this water, absorb these minerals or else any other nutrients from the soil. Okay, all the nutrients they are going to absorb by using their root. Okay, so we can say that soil is the richest and nearest source of the raw materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, water, anything etc. All these are the different nutrients required for the plants. Okay, now what they are doing, plants, they are going to absorb through roots from the soil. Okay, now tell me students, in small plants, if it is a small grass or else any small plants, see here, small plants I have brought to you, see this one or else this one, small plants. Now tell me student, how these plants are going to absorb the nutrients from the soil. How they are going to absorb the nutrients from the soil? What they are doing is they have roots. By using this root, they are going to take the nutrients directly. That process is called as diffusion process. Okay, because they have very short roots. Not like our mango tree, it is having the very big root. Like jackfruit tree, it is having the big, upon that it is a very higher plants, very big tall plant it is. But this is a very small plant, it is having very short body part, upon that short root it has. So what it is doing, because of the short root, it is very helpful to this one, directly it is going to diffuse the nutrients. Because the chlorophyll and the root or else the soil, it is having the very short distance. Diffusion process, why they are choosing this diffusion process? Because chlorophyll and soil has short distance. So directly intermixing takes place. It is going to absorb. Diffusion means what? You know that the moment of, yes, generally we are saying about the water. Generally water, it is going to move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. Yes. Now no need of thinking more about the lower plants. It is quite simple. What about in the tall plants, that is the higher plants like our mango tree or else jackfruit tree, apple tree? Whether diffusion is enough or else diffusion is sufficient to provide all the nutrition? Because it is having the very large lengthier root, upon that lengthier shoot. Stem, it is very big plant it is. So there no diffusion. Here no diffusion because it is not sufficient to provide all the nutrients to that plants. It is very difficult to absorb all the nutrients. The distance is very large. Now the question is, why transportation system is required in tall plants? Question is, why transportation system is required in tall plants? Can you answer? Yes, when the distance between the root and leaves are very large and the diffusion process is not sufficient to provide all the raw materials, okay, in leaves, and the energy in the roots. It is not sufficient, that energy is not sufficient to reach all the nutrients, okay, till the tip of the leaf. Okay, now one more question. Why do plants have low energy needs? Yes, why do plants have low energy needs? Can you tell? Yes, what is answer? We know that because plants do not move like us. We are moving, so the energy need is very less. They are not using much energy. Less number of mitochondria it has, we have studied in our 8th standard. Yes, the cells are having less compared to our mitochondria, number is less. Upon that, here one question, one answer we got, because plants do not move. Second answer, one more point here. A large portion of dead cells in many tissues. Here they have dead cells. In our case, we have active cells. In their case, they have large portions of dead cells they have in their tissues. Now, tell me student, which is main part in this transportation in higher plants? What it is the main parts? Which is the main part in the transportation system? Okay, that is two parts are there. Very important part it is in plants, in higher plants, that is in tall plants. Two transportation systems are there. They are xylem and phloem. What are they? Xylem. And one more is a phloem. Yes, second one is the phloem. This one clearly we have studied in our 9th standard while we are teaching, while we are discussing tissues chapter. We come to know that the complex permanent tissue, xylem and phloems. What are the functions of these two? We know that xylems are going to carry or else transport water plus minerals. Along with the water, they are going to carry the minerals. What about the phloem? What they are doing? Phloem is going to carry the food. Here, food transportation. Here, water plus mineral. Along with the water, all the minerals, the necessary minerals, the nutrients are going to transport. So, which pipe it is going to conduct? Which is going to transport this one? Xylem is going to transport water and mineral, phloem for food. Yes. Now, one small thing I will tell you students to better you are remember, otherwise sometimes you will forget. See, just remember phloem, the pronunciation phloem for food. So like that you just remember. So xylem for water and mineral. Sometimes you will get the confusion. Now, in these two transport systems, we know that there will be a four types of different components we have studied in 9th standard. Just remember that one. In xylem, xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers. What about the phloem? In phloem, Siev's tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, phloem fibers. These are the four different components present in xylem and phloem. Now, in xylem, only two components, namely tracheids and xylem vessels, are conducting element which forms continuous tube in plants which runs from the root to stem and to the veins of the leaves. So, these tracheids and xylem vessels, from where it starts, it is forming the continuous tube. It is from where to where? A root to stem veins of the leaf. How it will be then? See, if it is a plant, it is forming the continuous tube. It is from the root it starts, stem and leaf vein it is. Okay, tip of the leaf vein it is going to form a continuous tubes in plants which runs from the root to the stem and the veins of the leaf. Yes, next we'll see what happen now. This xylem is going to conduct water and mineral. Now tell me student, what will be the direction of this one? In both the direction, up and down? No. Here what happens? Xylem is going to conduct water and minerals from root to the top, that is the veins of the leaves. So it is a one-way direction. Only like this we can see. The direction is only like this. Now what about in the phloem? We know that in phloem sieves tubes are here. Very important point here. Only the sieves tubes are conducting element, but the companion cells are going to control this one. Only the conduction takes place in the sieves tube. Now here, see what about the conduction of this one? Just I will draw and show. See here, one tree it is. Just imagine here one leaf. Okay, we'll take one leaf here. So we know that leaf is going to prepare the food. From where these phloems are getting the food? From the leaf, because leaves are the kitchen of the cell. In chloroplast we studied that is the kitchen of the cell. Leaf is going to prepare the food. That food is going to conduct phloem, through phloem from leaf to different parts of the plants. So what happened? What will be the direction? We can't say it is only one direction. So both the direction we can see like this. Okay, both the direction we can see. This is all about the conducting or else transporting system in the plants. Here, the upward movement of water and minerals from the root to different part, it is called as ascent of sap. Write down here, that is called as ascent of sap. In exam, sometime they will ask, what is this? Ascent of sap means what? The upward movement of water and minerals from the root to different part is called as ascent of sap. See, it takes place in the 4 methods. That is, I will write here, that is first one, a root pressure. First one, a root pressure. Second one, capillary action. Third one, adhesive and cohesion. Adhesion and cohesion. The fourth one is transportation pull. These are the 4 methods of ascent of sap, that is root pressure. What is root pressure? What is mean by root pressure? We know that root is going to absorb the water and minerals. That is the osmosis process we can see. Osmosis means there will be a semi-permeable membrane. Through that it is going to pass. We have studied in lower class. What happened now? There will be a creation of force. There will be a creation of pressures then. Okay, that is a root pressure. Second one, capillary action. Now what happened? The water, it is reaches, or as mineral, water and mineral, it is reaches to the root now. Root is going to absorb that one. Now it is there in the water in root. Okay, not in the tip, it is absorbed now. Now what happened? This is going to move to the stem, that is called as capillary action. Okay, capillary action means, simply I will say student, if you are going to take one glass of water and if you are going to put one empty straw in that one, what will happen? It is empty straw, it is without any force, we are not doing anything. It is as it is, the small amount of water may rise. See like this, if you are going to take water, if you are going to put one empty straw in this, what will happen? These water just come not full, half or small portion it is going to rise the water. Okay, this is called as capillary action. Capillary action itself rise without any external force. Water itself rise without any any external force. See here what happens here. Root is going to absorb the water. This water is through the capillary action. Because of the capillary action, it reaches till here. Small portion, okay? It reaches there. Next, what happened? Because of the adhesion and cohesion forces, it is going to rise up. Okay, what is the adhesion force? What is the cohesion force? Do you know? It's attraction between two different compounds, like if it is water and minerals, or else any, if it is A and B. Okay, A and B is going to attract. There will be a creation of force that is called as adhesion force. This process is called as attracting process is called as adhesion. So what happened? Attraction between two different compounds, that is called as adhesion. What about the cohesion then? Attraction between similar compounds. Okay, that is a water and water. Water and water, it is going to attract. There will be a creation of force. Because of these two forces, what happened? Because of the force of adhesion and cohesion, water rise and reaches to the leaves. Okay, now what happened? Water is here, it was. Because of these two forces, it is going to reach the leaf, different leaves. Okay, next last part is the transpiration pull. What is that transpiration? We know that transpiration means what? Transpiration is the exhalation of water vapor through the stomata. We have know the different functions of stomata. All things we have studied in our lower class. So what happened? Stomata is going to take a main role in the transpiration. So once again, we are not going to see the functions of stomata here. Now we are only discussing about the transpiration pull. What is the transpiration pull then? Yes, here transpiration pull means because of the transpiration there will be a creation of vacuum. Okay, here we know that in plants what happen, I will draw here one tree. Here one tree I will draw here. Because of the transpiration, we know that transpiration, water is coming out. Now see, because of this one, in leaf, there will be a creation of vacuum. Okay, because of this, it will suck water. It will suck water. It helps to water. It is going to help the absorption of water. Because of the sucking of this vacuum, it is going to absorb the water. This is about the water transpiration. So come to know now stomata, what it is doing. Yes. Now what happened? Because of this transpiration, water is going to suck or else pull water. Water is going to pull from here, from the root. Okay, that is the importance of transpiration. Okay. Yes. So in today's class we have completed about the transpiration, that is the transportation in plants. We'll discuss, we'll recall what we have studied in today's class. First we have studied about the blood pressure and blood tubes and vessels. What about the platelets? What is the role of platelets? And what the limbs are going to do? All those things we have studied. Next we come to the transportation in plants. Okay, like animals, like all animals, plants also going to do the transportation, but it is only in the higher plants. So we got the answer why transportation system is required in tall plants. We got the answer for that one. One more question arising over there, why do plants have low energy needs? That answer also we come to know now. Now which is the two main transporting system? Yes, that is a xylem and phloem. It has the different components. Upon that we have discussed about the asset of sap. What is the definition? What is the different methods? All those things we have discussed. Write down students' questions. Okay, write a short note about the platelets. One more question. Write the functions of a lymph. Yes, here one more question. What is the role of stomata in transpiration or else transpiration. Last question. What is asset of sap? Thank you students.